Good morning, amazing community. How are we doing post-Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate the holiday in the States? I am so excited to come on and have this super juicy conversation with you today. It's been on the edge of my heart for a couple of days now, and it's something that I am super lit to talk about. It's a much needed conversation about a recent experience that I had, and I'm excited for this to inspire you. So in the last couple of months, I was working with a team to help with the release of my book coming out in January. Don't shit in my vortex. If you haven't got it on pre-order, go grab it. So many amazing bonuses for you. Anyway, long story short, getting a lot of really good traction. Got a Forbes article coming out this week, lots of great alignments with podcasts. But then it got to a place where I was getting feedback on being pushed back because they were wanting to say, hey, does this Lucy character have a master's? Does she have a PhD? What are her qualifications? And it does make me chuckle because I'm like, hang on, I'm not here being a rocket scientist or a surgeon. I'm here in the business of helping women change their life. A master's and a PhD or any of those qualifications, even a coaching certificate, do not make you equipped to help someone shift over 30 years of conditioning. And so as much as it was a little bit of a knock to my ego that felt a little bit bruised to be pushed back and held back because they were like, well, if she doesn't have a master's or a PhD, then she needs to have a gazillion followers. And you know, the truth is two things. I haven't been putting energy into my Instagram following, and I haven't been putting any emphasis on, obviously, on going and getting a coaching certification. Now, here's the decision that I made. Before I even started my business, I made a very conscious decision. I went and audited the top coaching programs in New York City. I sat in, I audited them, I was ready to invest. And at the end of each of these coaching audits, I was like, if I'm honest, I'm already teaching this stuff. I'm already living and breathing this stuff. I was like, the only reason that I would get this coaching certification would be to have that little nice to have badge of honor on my website. And I was like, so am I really going to invest just to do that? And I stopped and I dropped into my heart and I was like, fuck no. I was like, I made a conscious decision that my clients want the real deal. They want someone that actually walks their talk, that has been through stuff and come out the other side. So I made a decision back before I even started my business to say, I'm here to get outcomes and my women will not even require that. And do you know, I've only been asked about 3 times in my whole career about certifications up until recently with the book launch stuff. And that's because I deeply embody my message. I have managed to build a 7-figure business, getting outcomes every day of the week because of the belief that I have in myself and because, most importantly, of the outcomes that I get my clients. And so what I want you to hear from this is I spent more time building those beliefs around who I am and how I need to show up in the world, and leveraging over 10 years of my own self-development journey, spending over $300,000 on my own journey, on my own process, walking through spiritually, through fire, unpacking myself and building myself up into the woman that I wanted to be in the world. I've experienced trauma from a young age. I was the biggest sabotager, people pleaser, overgiver on the planet. And I knew that if I was able to transmute that and to get myself onto my trajectory to attract in my soulmate and really create and build a life that I'm fucking in love with, I was like, hello, that makes me totally equipped to be able to guide others. I've also been gifted, an incredible ability to be able to see into people's lives without even needing to see someone in front of me. I can feel into energy. I know exactly where to go with their soul. And this is a gift. This is not something that can be learnt or studied for. And I got present to that. I'm really proud of myself that I clocked this over 6 years ago at the very, very beginning of this journey. Now, I still had to build the confidence muscle because I had nothing to show for it when I first began. But that was where I put my energy and my focus into all of the lessons and the transformations and the journey that I'd been on, knowing that I was more than equipped to guide others home to their magnificence. So this message is about saying, look, if you're looking for, in your life, you're looking for a therapist or a coach who has qualifications, I invite you to look a bit deeper than that. Because I end up working with therapists. I work with psychologists who do have the master's degrees, who do have the PhDs, and yet they're so cerebral, they're not able to actually get the breakthroughs for themselves or their clients because they're not embodying their heart connection. They're not actually overcoming the obstacles in their life. So, how often are you holding yourself back right now in your own life because you're like, well, I would go and do this thing, but I need to have, 6 more qualifications. Is that true? Because I guarantee you that it's not. I have women coming to me who've done PhDs, who've gone to Harvard, who've done everything under the sun. And when they come and do this deep, profound process with me, they start to get the measure of actually who they are and how gifted they are, and they start putting themselves out there into the world, getting opportunities, getting jobs, promotions, pay rises, all of it, the things that they would never have dreamt of in a million years, because they put more emphasis and focus and importance and value on getting their worthiness plugged in, knowing that they are enough, than before when they were chasing their worth through qualifications, right? And you're doing this in so many other ways as well. Clients come to me, they're like, well, I can't have a soulmate relationship right now because I'm not the right weight, or I haven't paid off all my debt, or I'm not on purpose, or I'm not this, I'm not that. That shit is irrelevant. It's so much more important to be all of who you are and to embody your greatness, to embody your gifts, and to walk your talk than to be pinning your greatness and your value on a certificate. Okay, and for many of you in here, you have done masters and you have done PhDs, and that's fantastic. Go you, right? High fives. But that is not going to make you any more worthy, especially when it comes to love. There are a bazillion thought leaders in the world right now, none of which had any qualifications. Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Gabby Bernstein. I could go on and on and on with the people that have just made such a big difference and created such huge impact in the world because they followed their gut and they were bold and they got out of their comfort zone and they're like, you know what, I'm doing it because I can. I believe in myself enough to fucking shoot for my dreams and to go for it. And that is exactly where I come in. I have taken the path less traveled. I have spent over a decade getting out of my own way, getting into my heart space, healing my abandonment issues. Oh my God, was I a sabotager? Oh my God. And getting my worthiness plugged in, which is why I'm getting women who would never have been in a relationship into soulmate relationships during COVID. Do you know this has been my best year yet with success with people getting into relationships during this pandemic? That speaks for itself. I'm not here to flash around certificates. I'm here to get you to your outcome. That is literally all I care about. That is why I haven't yet generated a huge amount of followers on Instagram, because I haven't been giving it any value. Now that's going to change as my book comes out, as I'm now a public profile, public figure. Abso-freaking-lutely. I am so excited to be putting a lot more energy into that. But as far as like just where I am on my journey with where I was getting the pushback recently, I was like, disappointed, but I was also just like, that is so funny that that's where they're placing the importance. You only have to look at the success that I've created with so many women's lives that speak for themselves, right? That's what you should be focusing on. So it only puts more fuel in my fire because I know who I am. I know the path that I'm on. I know the results that I get. And this is coming from experience. For me, I don't want to go and get, support from someone who hasn't experienced a miscarriage. When I experienced a couple of miscarriages, Stevie, darling, get Stevie. Sorry, Stevie ran away. I want to be led by someone who understands the gravitas of what that actually feels like. I don't want to go and work with a yoga instructor if they're lazy as F. I want to work with someone that inspires me. I want to work with someone who's actually getting the results. And so, if you're in this community and you can really relate that this is actually how you're showing up in your life. You are holding yourself back because you're not the person that you think that you need to be to attract in your soulmate relationship. I'm telling you right now, it's a fucking illusion. You have greatness inside of you. You have purpose inside of you. You have got so much worthiness and you are so fucking lovable. It's just that you've been putting the bar so high with thinking you've got to be someone that you're not in order to be accepted, in order to be loved. And it is keeping you single, it's keeping you small. And that's where we start to feel stagnant in our being. It's where we start to feel stuck. It's where we start to feel really shut down, unmotivated, because you're stamping on your own light and you're trying to get it right. And you're trying to emulate what you think you need to present to the world in order to be accepted. I am not cookie cutter. I am not that coach. I never will be that coach. I am a trailblazer. I am a force of nature. And it's taken years for me to really just step into that bigness and to embrace the woman that I am, the huge light that I am, the big beacon of light that I am born to be in this world. I was for years trying to dim that light, trying so hard to just fit in, to be accepted. And it felt like shit. And it ended up me drinking, most weekends with friends, trying to just numb the fact that I was holding back, because I didn't want to stand out too much. I was more committed to being accepted and to just fit in than I was to actually embodying the gifts that I've been given. And now that I've done that, my whole entire life has changed and I am deeply fulfilled. Does not mean that I don't experience obstacles all the time. When we're playing a big game in life, you're going to get bigger obstacles, that's for sure. And just recently being pushed back because I didn't have, a million followers, and because I didn't have a master's degree or a psychologist degree or whatever the hell. Yes, for a split second there, I was just like, what the fuck? But I was like, yes, this is like even more fuel for me to just be like, no, this is not what it's about. It's about freaking outcomes. It's about me being able to look in the mirror and go, I am a thought leader. I am a change maker. I'm here getting results for my clients. That's where I'm putting my focus. That's where I get to go to sleep every night knowing that I show up for myself, for my family, for my clients, and where I put my value is on getting those outcomes. I have too many women coming to me who have spent 10 years going down the therapy path, spending a lot of money, a lot of time, and they like, I have not been able to move the needle. To me, that is a travesty. And yes, those therapists would have had all the things, maybe a master's, a PhD, whatever you need. Doesn't mean anything. It does not mean anything. So I really want to inspire you to take this into yourselves to go, what have I been conforming to that isn't in resonance with my soul? What are you right now? What are you trying to mold yourself into being when it comes to love? Trying to get the perfect profile picture, wanting to say the right things on dates, trying to present yourself in a certain way just to be liked by the guy? It's fake. It's inauthentic. It's not who you are. I always say to my women, it wouldn't matter if you did a big fat burp on the first date, right? It wouldn't matter if you own that burp and you're just like, whoops, there we go. Obviously that was, that happened. The guy's going to want to see you for a second date because you just owned it and you weren't sitting there being like, oh my God, I hope I didn't turn him off. And what's he going to think? And oh my God, and then going to the bathroom and texting all your friends like, oh my God, can you believe what happened? That is not you being embodied. It's you caring more about what the guy thinks than you just owning it and being real and showing up as you, right? That's what this conversation is about. The world needs your realness. The world needs you to actually embody yourself and to embody that connection, that deep love of self, so that you can actually really be emitting your light, right? Your light that hasn't been filtered through this lens of, well, I've got to do this to be accepted. I've got to do this to fit in. No. Anyone that's had huge success in the world, like look at Richard Branson, seriously. Man, that guy is super duper successful and he's actually happy, right? That's why I really like him. He loves his life. He's created in a way that includes a lot of play, a lot of joy, a lot of fun, a lot of adventure. But that guy, he hasn't got qualifications to show for it. He's just like, you know what? I'm going to dream big. I'm going to do the work to get into alignment with who I need to be, and look at the impact that he's created, right? So this is about you questioning everything right now. Like if you're currently working with someone that is not actually moving the needle, where you're not shifting and you're not actually getting your heart open and able to feel and to really dissolve that numbness and to start feeling like, you know what, I am worthy, I am soulmate material, I am gonna have this relationship, right? And my life the way that I want it. If you're not feeling those feels, then the work that you're doing right now isn't, oh, sorry. It's just like all this activity on the road. I want to make sure Anam had Stevie Dix, my dog. It's not the right work. Okay, that's the bottom line. Look for a mentor that inspires you. Look for a mentor that you are really in alignment with the energy. You actually feel something. You know, when you're in this mentor's presence, if you're in this community and you're like, you know what, I've been watching these lives and I know I need to work with you, then go for it. If you're in someone else's community and you're feeling them deeply and you know that they are your mentor, go work with them. It's not something that you need to figure out. It's something that you feel. You'll literally feel that thing inside your heart. And this is what all my clients feel. They're like, I joined this program because I knew that this was what was going to change my life. And guess what? Every one of them is right. They felt it. They felt it before the results. They're just like, I just know that you can help me, right? It's an alignment. It's a resonance. And that is where you should be putting the value. And that's the same when it comes to dating. It's not you going, oh, let me check my checklist. Has this guy gone to Harvard? Has he got this? Has he got that? No, it's a resonance. It's about you trusting yourself and your intuition and feeling, oh my God, am I feeling it with this guy? Or are you just technically going through the motions with this idea of what it is that you want to attract? It's an absolute game changer when you can live your life letting your heart govern and lead the way to show you your next steps. So yeah, no more emphasis on, oh my God. I mean, I've worked with this one beautiful girl who could not get over the fact that she had a PhD. Literally, it was like the thing that she was pinning herself to. And yet her heart was closed. She was numb as fuck. And all of this went back to her childhood, back to having to please her father. And they were very much an academic family. And she did bring these walls down, but it took a while to reach her because she'd put all of her worth and value outside of her and onto her achievements. And she was wondering why she kept attracting in men that were letting her down, that weren't emotionally connected. And that's because she was leading with this PhD and wanting someone to just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to marry you because of that. And I'm like, sister, that's never going to work. You're not being all of who you are. You're leaning on a certification. Like, what the fuck? Okay. So I'm super, super passionate about this. And I also just want to leave you with, you know, what is it on your heart right now that you're holding yourself back from? You're telling yourself you're not ready, you're not good enough, you're not qualified enough. Because I'll tell you right now, especially if you're in the coaching space or in a space of, you know, impacting others, people aren't wanting you to be perfect. There are people out at sea right now drowning that are begging for you to show up in all your glory, in your authenticity, in your realness. And by you waiting to get it right and to be this perfect version of yourself, which doesn't exist, you are literally missing opportunities, right? This is the severity of this message. There are people that need your magic right now. So can you please rethink this idea of waiting to be ready, waiting to be super, super qualified, and go, what if I just put myself out there right now just as I am with everything that I've learned, and put one foot after the other and just fucking go for it. I'm here for those of you that are ready to go to the next level, that want real outcomes. That is what I pride myself on. One thing, getting you your outcome, getting you deeply embodied with your heart, healing things that you haven't been able to heal, you know, in decades, and getting you on the lit path where you can attract in your soulmate, you can live on purpose, you can deepen all the relationships in your life and actually be fulfilled in this lifetime because you ended up putting the focus and the energy into you feeling fucking amazing instead of reaching for more academic achievements to prove your worthiness. You're never going to get that deep fulfillment from having to prove yourself. It's about embodiment from within, and that is my mastery. And I just felt this live was just really, really important to come on and just share a part of my journey with you really authentically and transparently, because I could have easily let that rock me, right? My ego was just like, what's going on here? But my soul was just like, oh, game on, like bring it, bring it, bring it, bring it. This is even more of a reason for me to show up even more powerfully and to own the fact that I chose not to get certification, because where I put my value is on me being self-taught. And like I said, spending over a decade on doing self-development on myself and spending over 300K to actually get the outcomes that I now teach in a much shorter amount of time. So I'm sending you so much love. You're definitely not a coincidence that you're listening to this right now. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to work with those of you that are wanting to make 2021 the most fantastic lit year of your life. Mwah.